Happy New Year to everybody. Hi, it's Brent, Heber, the Greens candidate for Kogarah here, and it's the first week of January. And it's been an interesting time in New South Wales politics because New South Wales Labor have a new leader. John Robertson has decided to stand down. There was a couple of hats thrown in the ring for the new leadership, and then all of a sudden, in the lead up to the actual vote, the rest of them all pulled out, leaving Luke Foley, the unopposed winner of the leadership spill for the New South Wales Labor. Call me crazy, but it just doesn't feel very democratic to have nobody actually contest the leadership of the second most powerful, arguably the second most powerful political party in Australia, it seems, or in New South Wales, as the case may be. It just seemed a bit weird to me. It doesn't seem a very democratic way about going things. So yes, Luke Foley apparently has the support of the right faction of New South Wales Labor, which to me just screams like, yeah, it's more of the same. More of the same. So yes, good luck with that. The thing that I really wanted to concentrate on this week in my little blog videos out to the world, out to the ether, was preferences. One of the things that we hear in the lead up to an election, particularly in seats that have been very traditional, Labor or safe Liberal seats, is don't waste your vote. Don't throw away your vote on a minor party. I don't know which Liberal or Labor spin doctor came up with that expression back in the day, but by Jove, it's stuck. It's a wonderful thing, and it basically just reinforces the status quo. It means that people will never vote for a minor party, so the two major parties will retain control of Australia, of all of our states and provinces forevermore, because no one will ever vote in a minor party. So that's the crux of it. There's the only reason that people repeat that is because they are dyed-in-the-wool fans of one of the old parties. Now, I would purport that on the back of the ICAC findings here in New South Wales over the 4 years, if ever there was a time to tell the major parties, no, you've done a bad thing. You're not doing that great. 10 scalps, 11 scalps to the Libs and Eddie Obeid, hello, on the side of Labor. Clearly, there are conflicts of interest and corruption issues through both old parties that need to be addressed. And if ever there was a time to send them that message to pick your game up, now is the time to use your vote wisely and use it twice. Put a minor party ahead of your major party. Preferences, assign the preferences the way you want to assign them. No one has control of your preferences but you when you actually fill out the form. And make them work for their vote. Make them work for your vote to send them that message that they're not doing a good enough job. So don't buy into this spin that your vote will be wasted by being used on a minor party, putting a minor party in number one. I would actually say that that's completely the opposite of what will happen. You're actually making your vote work twice or three times or four times, depending on how far down the list you're putting the major parties who are likely to get elected in that safe seat. So yeah, use your voting powers for good. So when it comes around to these sorts of discussions, then people are, oh, well, why wouldn't I vote for the Liberal Party, the Labor Party, what have you? Okay, well, I'll give you a few quick reasons off the top of my head here for why you wouldn't vote Liberal. Firstly, don't vote Liberal in New South Wales because they want to watch the world burn. They've proven time and again they have no interest in taking any serious action on climate change, and they want us all to live in some sort of dystopian future where the world is 4 degrees hotter than it is now on average. So I personally don't think that's in the best interest of my children, and I'm never going to vote them as a result until they change their policies and support, I don't know, the green policies would be a good one. Good place to start. I'm never going to vote Labor. Why wouldn't you vote Labor? I'll give you 3 good reasons, 3 good St. George reasons not to vote Labor. We've got this wonderful green belt that runs through St. George down through Sans Souci with all of our sports and playing fields, the wetlands, and a bunch of areas that basically make our quality of life what it is here in St. George. That green belt would disappear under either of the old parties because they both have a love affair with motorways, and the M6 corridor is now earmarked to become the M6. So we will lose all of those sports fields, those green areas under, I would say, either government, whether it's Liberal or Labor. They both have this love affair with roads, and they're both going to build it. It's on the way forwards now. The only major party who are saying no more toll roads, get off the junk, guys, is going to be the Greens. So no tollways. That'd be my first reason not to vote Labor. Second reason not to vote Labor would be privatisation issues. Where's old Labour gone? It's all this, the right-wing Labour control shenanigans. We're selling off things that belong to me and my parents and your parents and other citizens of New South Wales. Poles and wires, our network infrastructure for electricity turns over a significant amount of money, of $1 billion or something every year in assets of income coming through into our government that then pays for vital services. And under Christina Keneally, they were more than happy to sell that off, and I would suggest that under both of the old parties, we're going to see the poles and wires get sold off at some point, unless you have a party in charge who are going to try and take care of our publicly owned assets and leave them in the ownership of the public. Third reason I would say not to vote Labor would be ICAC, Eddie Obeid. Corruption issues, conflicts of interest. Clearly they haven't got their house in order yet. And I would say that there needs to be more work done, chaps, and you need to apply yourselves. So that would be 3 good reasons not to vote Liberal, and not to vote Labor, should I say, and 1 vote not to vote. I'm getting them mixed up because they're so hard to determine. They're all the same, aren't they? I'll give you 5 good reasons to vote Greens. Okay, firstly, public transport. We are the only party in New South Wales with a comprehensive public transport plan, a mass transport plan for New South Wales that will get cars off the road, because that's actually the only way to resolve our traffic issues in New South Wales, is actually mass transit, not building motorways. Second reason, education. The only party who completely supported Gonski. We want to see properly funded education throughout the country, throughout New South Wales. More importantly, TAFE in St George, we want to see that properly funded. And under both the old parties, we're seeing cuts and cuts and cuts to TAFE, eliminating options for people for affordable education, for vocational training. So TAFE needs to be protected, and that's one of our cornerstones. Another one would be donations from the corporate sector. The Greens have never accepted donations from the corporate sector. That'd be why my video is coming out to you here on YouTube as opposed to me being interviewed by 7, 9, 10 SBS Foxtel. It's because we don't have the media buy, we don't have the funds. We've said no to corporate donations from the get-go. It means that we have no conflicts of interest. We're not going to be found up, dragged up before the ICAC, fingers crossed, because we have a much lesser proclivity towards any form of corruption if we don't accept money from the corporate sector. We represent people, not companies. Fourth reason, I would say we are the only party who actually have a policy for 100% clean, renewable New South Wales. We're the only party with a plan to transform New South Wales from fossil fuels over to clean technology and sustainable electricity generation, which comes with it jobs, with innovation, with any number of advances that we're seeing that we are lagging behind in. If the federal government in Australia are going to do nothing for climate, then it behooves the state governments to take action. And in New South Wales, neither of the old parties are prepared to do that, but the Greens are. And my 5th and final reason I would say to vote Greens is, isn't it time for a change? If what we're doing isn't working, which clearly under the Libs and Labs, it's really not working that great with corruption rife through both old parties, isn't it time to send them a message that, no, you need to get your act together? So please consider putting a minor party, preferably the Greens, number 1 on your vote in March 2015 for a clean New South Wales. Vote clean, vote green in 2015. It's got a ring to it, doesn't it? Anyway, Happy New Year to everybody. If you have any questions for me, shout out on social media. I'm readily accessible, and I will respond, as opposed to the candidates from the old parties who seem to ignore all of my questions. All the best. Bye.